Last time on Polymorph Self, the epic saga of Seyda, her greatsword, and her new adopted stoat friend. Well, this is slightly embarrassing. I made a new friend in Onas' spirit-bonded stoat. What can I say? I just have a way with short fuzzy creatures. At the Polo, possibly thanks to Bjorn, we had to sit through an impromptu drugs lecture from Princess Arpitani, who had shown up with our citizenship rings. Onas finally revealed to us the contents of his soup-induced vision, which we had all kind of forgotten about. But it led us to a mysterious monolith in the Great Wood of Sulasatani. There we landed our ornithopter in a mysterious valley, where we discovered a mysterious monument engraved with mysterious writing.
That sort of script that you've been coming across.
Stand aside. Nothing to see here.
Before you make the actions, though, here's what else you can see. You're now parallel with where the tower is on the hill. Looking across that way, you see there's a break in the trees, almost like a sort of natural cave entrance, and some sort of steps going up. Either side of the steps are two more plinths, and there's a huge boulder next to it, which when you look closely, because you're about half a mile away, looks like a huge stone head of some description, sort of lying askew in the snow. So that's over by the tower.
Blow it up!
Ah, Stonehead.
The opposite direction, on the other side of the valley by the river, you can also see some more boulders and what looks like tents, which are just sort of like flapping around in the breeze and debris, like an abandoned camp. Right over by the river on the exact opposite side of the valley to where the statue is. And then finally, looking ahead of you to the north end of the valley, where the forest actually encroaches on the valley floor and comes out a bit. Another sort of 20 minutes walk again on from where you are. So you're in like a midpoint between these 4 points, basically.
I read the script on the monument.
You take out your notebook using the previously translated word for oblivion and the word that you won't be saying again at the moment.
Not right now.
And let's roll a dice, and you can only fail on a natural one because we've set the precedent that you've kind of figured this language out now.
So I'm rolling a d20 and trying not to get a 1. I get an 8.
It appears to be sort of basic Elven that you can understand, just written in this different script and a bit off. It seems to be the word guide, Guide, like in common, except because it's this slightly odd script and a little bit off regular Elven, you're not sure if that's in the sense of a verb or a noun. You're not sure, but that's the word it is in Elven.
Is this thing magic?
Let me test by casting a spell. I cast Detect Magic.
You cast Detect Magic. It glows up red in your vision. It seems to have some form of magical power attached to it.
Yes, it is. Magical.
Sweet.
To you, it now looks like a big glowing red
Thanks a lot for
metal
getting me to
stick.
I've got an after image now. Thanks. Yep, so there's something magical here. These words mean guide. So I guess it's a marker of some kind pointing the way to somewhere. What should we do? Should we go and check out those tents over there? Those abandoned-looking tents?
That sounds like a good idea, maybe.
That's the only sign of, like, habitation or people, I guess.
Quiet for a second. I'm going to stop and listen.
Okay, what is your listen skill?
My listen skill is it is +5.
Okay, and 15 is the standard here for a general check.
10 + 5 is 15.
Okay, you all keep still while Seyda the Barbarian surveys the scene and listens intently. And with almost supernatural ability, on the wind blowing in from the north in the direction of the of where the trees sort of encroach on the valley, you do hear strange like noises like flapping, but not like the wind in the trees, but like the wind on a flag or a door or a piece of material. Like there's definitely something like man-made or extra sort of in those within that tree line.
Not strong enough to be a wooden door, but maybe thick canvas.
No, like the flapping of material, something like that. That's what your super hearing essentially picks up coming downwind from the northern tree line. Yeah,
something from the north. I think maybe we should sneak up and see what's there.
Did someone say sneak?
Mm-hmm.
Go on, you.
Yeah, I'll go check it out. Let me sneak there. I sneak.
So your winter traveling cloaks, your thick winter traveling cloaks are, as we know, reversible. One
White
side is a
side
kind
out,
of mottled,
obviously.
one is white, one is like mottled camouflage. So Bjorn, you go white side out. You keep close to the.
Ooh, you
I
guys.
live my life white side out.
That's right. Yeah, you keep close to the snow and you go into sneak mode. What's your? We're going to use moves, aren't we? Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just.
Yeah. Well, that's a fine check in order to. This is. Can you approach this area? And if there is somebody there, they definitely wouldn't have seen you coming. So it's at DC 15. You have +6.
I have a +8.
A +8. Go for it.
It's 13 + 8. That is 21.
Okay. You guys sort of keep close to the monument and don't move too much in case anything does get attracted this way. Bjorn reverses his cape and all but disappears into the White Valley floor. You can't even see it. Was he ever even
I'm
here?
over here, gentlemen. Or am I here?
And you go through the snow as you head north up the valley. It's not just the tree line at the side. These trees do sort of sweep in almost like halfway across the valley at the top. And the closer you get, the more you can see. Sort of enough inside the trees to be sheltered, but at the edge, at the north end of the valley, you start seeing little sort of pieces and bits and pieces. You get closer and there seems to be a camp. Someone's made some sort of a camp like just inside the trees there. When you get about halfway there, you see someone sort of not completely out the tree line, but you do see someone being careful not to expose themselves, but sort of walking around one of these tents. The tents are black and they have white crosses on them. And the person you see walking around, you see two people. You see a hobgoblin sentry who you recognize these people. And then the other one is an acolyte of Anti-Theophany. He's not wearing a mask. He's only got the light mace, but he has a tabard. They're not wearing like camouflage or winter stuff at all. They're still wearing their uniforms because they're fanatic. So you get halfway there and you spot like a tent and these two. And only you are there right now. What's your next action?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a little closer.
Okay, make that roll again, but this time it's only DC 12 because you're already in the groove.
That is great. I just rolled a 16 + 8. Yeah.
You nail it. You get right into this sort of where the trees sweep out, and you get into the trees, and you manage to, under the cover, perfectly, without being detected at all, get right on this camp. Although it's a little difficult for you to keep silent and hidden, because what you see is that there's a sort of a semicircular clearing. There are many tents. You see, like, just walking around, you count, just at a quick head count, you count at least 10 hobgoblin sentries, and also 8 acolytes. There may be more in the tents. So you see 18 people straight off, a mix of those low-level acolytes and the hobgoblin sentries. And also, after you watch it for a couple of minutes, appearing in between the tents, walking around, you see a man in a black hooded body robe with silver stitching and a full head, grotesque distorted mask, who you recognize as Agonosphos, a high priest of Anti-Theophany, who you may have met before when you last put a dagger through his eye.
They got here really quick. Good for them.
That's right. There has been mention in Adam's report of possible reasons for that, actually, when he summed up everything you knew about them. But he's not there. So but from your point of view right now, you think they got here really quick.
I'm gonna, I scooter my way back.
And you are just in the groove now, and you see all of this without them ever knowing you were there.
Oh.
And in fact, you just appear to those guys as if by magic.
Hey guys.
Whoa! Don't do that.
All right, there's a camp in the woods. So
okay, good kind of summer camp or
Agonosphos is up in there, and you guys might want to reverse your cloaks right now,
Okay.
just so they don't see us.
yeah. Okay, so what's the deal up there? What's going on up there? What do they?
There's a large group of them, about 10 hobbies, 10 hobgobs, and Agonosphos, a couple of clerics, and I couldn't discern what they were doing. I should have listened to them speaking if they were, but I didn't. Yeah. But
Oh well.
But here's the thing:
right.
let's stay away from there for now.
Well, because I guess maybe that camp across the river is their previous camp that they've maybe abandoned, because that looks that was flapping about and abandoned kind of.
But why would they have abandoned it?
Maybe I think they're searching the area for something, so maybe they went from one camp to another. I don't know. maybe we should still check.
Well, they wouldn't leave tents there. I think that's got to be something. What color were those tents? What color are those tents?
Black with a white cross.
The tents you can just about see near the banks of the river, on the opposite side of the valley, appear to be standard sort of like canvas, undyed, just off
Ah,
white.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're going off on another little creepy creep there.
Well, no, but that's totally. It looks deserted as far as we can tell. I think we can just trundle up there.
Seyda and Bjorn, do you think like if we just go across the to that other camp, will the people you just saw, will they be able to see us from where they are?
It would take some sort of complete disaster or an idiotic action to draw enough attention to you to let them see that.
All right,
We
so
shouldn't
Onas,
go
stay
over.
here.
Let's not go over there.
No, let's go.
Let's
Let's go check
go-
out the
we can go check it
abandoned thing. Yes,
Maybe we'll find more
we
clues.
go.
We go. We
We go.
Okay, you head carefully, but not too carefully,
Thank you.
across the valley through the snow to the opposite side, to the opposite ridge, in front of which is this sort of shallow but wide icy blue river, which is like a glacial river. It's full of like debris and bits of rocks that have been cast down. It's kind of wide, and when it's not flooded in the spring, it's kind of broken up into all these channels and there's silt in it. It's a classic glacial river this time of year.
Classic.
That's right. Looks exactly like you'd expect it to. And there's these 2 abandoned tents there. But in between the tents, in this sort of open area, it's like an almost circular cone of ice, like a block, like everything is frozen into actual, like crystallized ice all around. You can see the remains of a campfire, but it's sort of beneath a sort of like a foot of ice. You can kind of see it through the ice. This whole, it's almost like a big circle, but with like uneven edges. It's just ice. And under that ice, you can see 3 people, 2 of which are dressed like rangers of Kikathra, and one of which is dressed like someone you don't see very often at all from one of the other 3 civilizations, in fact. In fact, he's a human, very dark-skinned, and dressed in the uniforms of people from a civilization that you've heard of but never been to, called the Karufa, which is the northern desert civilization of this game world. And you have in your lives met 1 or 2 of these people. But Kikathra is the one out of the 4 which is like super isolated and far away from everywhere. But occasionally emissaries will come over. So 2 of them are rangers, and 1 of them is like an adventurer or traveler from faraway lands. And they're all dead as doorposts and frozen, into weird positions underneath this huge thing of ice. And there are also some like pack animals, like the riding dogs that you're able to conjure up, that are also dead, but they're sort of like away. They've been obviously frozen and then shattered when something's bitten them after they've been frozen, essentially.
Onas, can you tell if this is magical ice?
Let's check what's inside the tents
Okay,
first.
let's have a look through. Maybe it would be a little bit
So,
visible.
Hjani, what exactly are you doing?
I go and check inside the closest tent to me.
Bjorn.
I'm gonna take a closer look inside the ice.
Okay, so you walk out onto this ice and start staring down what's in it. It's almost as if there was people at this camp, and then something both threw them to the floor and then froze them over in one blast.
Okay.
I'm going to do the same. I'm going to investigate the ice.
Onas.
I'm going to see if using my shocking grasp on the ice will fracture it and blow it into pieces and let us get into it a bit more.
Yeah, it's probably a better option than the bright burning, light emitting, huge flaming
Maybe,
sphere.
yeah. We'll
Tiny
see.
miniature sun.
Okay.
I'm gonna electrocute some ice.
I'm
So-
glad you asked us about it before
This
you
is my
did it.
miniature son.
Yeah. So Bjorn and Seyda go to look at the ice, and Onas goes, stand back.
Stand back.
He touches his hand and just lets off an electric charge into the ice, which you just hear like crackling, fizzing, banging, and the ice does in fact like, first of all, cracks appear, and then it sort of like, doesn't like explode with noise, but it like a crack, bong, bits spring out, and then eventually it's sort of been cracked into like a big, just looks like someone's dropped a glass, a big sheet of glass onto the floor.
Does everything look like a glass was just dropped on the floor, or just
Well,
the ice?
You can't see what's under it now because it's all full of like cracks and
I
stuff,
think
but
if-
you could easily pull chunks out and get
Yeah.
under it now.
Or if someone had with a big swordy thing just hit it a couple of times, maybe it would be easy for them to smash their way into it.
Hjani, inside the first tent, you find makeshift beds, camping equipment, and blankets, and not much else in the first tent. There's a couple of cloaks.
Oh,
There's a pair of boots. But apart from that, there's no sort of personal items or anything of interest in the first tent.
All right. Maybe I'll check the next tent.
You enter the next tent. It is much the same, except for a small wooden box at the foot of one of these small... These tents are like sort of 4 people can be in them.
Ooh.
They're like small mini pavilions. There is a small wooden unlocked box at the foot of one of the beds.
I poke the box with my longsword.
It rattles as if it has a single small object inside of it, made of metal.
All right, I open the box with my longsword.
Okay, inside is a single iron key.
Ooh, okay. I pick up the key with my longsword.
You get the tip of your longsword just through the hook of the key. It's quite large, like one of those classic dungeon keys that you may find on a ring full of keys. Okay, yeah, it's dangling off the end of your longsword presently.
Lord Sword.
Okay, so with the key on the edge of my longsword, I go out to these guys on the ice, and I'm like, hey guys, look at what I found. Cling, cling, cling.
Why is it on your sword?
I don't know, I'm just taking precautions.
You are able to pull the ice back, and the other guys, and you see that the bodies are perfectly preserved. The traveller from faraway lands and the 2 rangers.
Rifle through their pockets.
We rifle.
The rangers have standard longswords and rations in backpacks and the same cloaks as you. You don't know who they are, but they appear to have been here. They've been perfectly preserved. I'm going to say, Onas, what sort of smarts skills do you have?
CSI?
I think we'll just go intelligence. What's your intelligence bonus?
Jeez, okay.
Oh no, wait, you're a sorcerer, right? Let's go with charisma. That represents your intuition.
Charisma, yeah. My charisma is 17 with a +3.
+3. Okay, so let's see if you can beat DC 15 with your +3.
Okay. I roll an 18, so that's 21.
You say, stand back. You examine the bodies using all your knowledge and your natural sorcerer's intuition.
And charisma.
Yeah, and you decide that you're pretty sure that they've been lying here or dead for about a month.
Yeah.
Only a month. Interesting.
That's quite a long time to be encased in ice.
Onas, wasn't a part of your dream...
Hang on. Just quiet 1 second, because I'm just having a flashback to that vision I had. So stop your whittering. In my vision, there was a group of rangers. So I thought they were us, but maybe they were other rangers, and they got... Oh, so cold. So cold. Oh.
Is this more poetry?
Sorry, I was taken away then by my vision. They got frozen in ice by some stuff.
I thought they shattered. You said something about shattering.
No, there was no shattering. No, it was
a
mist came in, and there was some kind of ice.
Was there no shattering?
Only Onas can confirm or deny that about
there
his
was
own
definitely,
vision.
I say for the record now, and I can categorically state there was no shattering in the ice house.
By the way, Onas, award yourself 50 experience points for that. Oh, I'm so cold moment. I was really sold. Yeah.
Was you chilly? Okay, another 50. I'm getting too many experience points here.
Do
This
the
is
Rangers
bullshit. I
have
want fever
rings?
dreams.
Sorry.
Do the Rangers have rings? Are they citizens?
They are not
No.
citizens, but after rifling the pockets of the
I wanted
traveller
to see
from
if we
afar,
could identify them.
that's a smart thought. But they're not citizens. So they seem to be. In fact, Seyda, after you notice that and look at their faces, their age, and their equipment, you realise they are actually sort of like recent recruits. Perhaps almost of the same generation of recent recruits as you guys, in fact.
As they're from officer school. Oh.
And in the pockets of the traveller from afar, you find a letter sort of wrapped up literally in a bow with a seal that is in one of his pockets.
I think our scribe should read it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, okay. So I take the letter and I read it.
Okay, it's in common. It is a set of orders given to this man. It seems that he is himself a kind of adventurer or agent from the civilization of Karufa, and he's on a mission specifically to come down here and find the legendary monolith. It says in
Find the giant black thing that you can see from
Oh,
like
so
10
close.
miles away.
And yet so far.
And the instructions cryptically say, if it is there, you must secure it for our civilization.
Don't take orders from dead.
So the
people.
Karufans are after the black monolith.
Do you
I wonder
think
how
it
they
could
plan-
be a portal?
The it, in the grammar of the letter, the it is referring to some cryptic reference to something that might be at the site of the monolith,
Yeah, so
not
that
the monolith
is
itself.
on the top of the ridge, and then there was a big doory thing underneath it in a cave, which that's where we should go for next, I think.
Or you guys want to check out the gigantic head?
Yeah, I think there's probably a big cave entrance next to it as well.
Yeah, and it wasn't really a cave so
Yeah.
much as it was like a cave. It's where there's a parting in this wall of trees and the beginning of some steps leading up the hillside.
Left.
Yeah.
Let's go and check out the cave.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Now,
Oh yeah, if this key looks safe, I'm just gonna grab it off the end of my sword.
you take it and nothing bad happens to
Okay,
you.
great.
Now,
Take it, you die.
here's what does happen, though. I got to roll a dice here. As you turn around, who's got... I want you all to roll for initiative and just tell me who got the highest number, including your bonus.
Okay.
You roll
19.
first time.
Oh, okay, I'm rolling.
Can't find my initiative. Either.
I got a 1 plus 2, that's 3.
17, 21.
11 plus 7 is 18.
So Bjorn has the highest of that, right? So Bjorn, while you guys are turning around to prepare to make a move, your tracking, your ranger sense sort of comes online. All is not right. You look south, back in the direction of where the ornithopter is, and the reason that you get such a familiar feeling is next to the river south of you, coming your way, you see dark shapes start to rise up in the snow. Quite similar to another time when you were stalked by dark shapes in a wilderness, setting.
Ponies?
I want someone to roll a d6 and add 2.
5 plus 2.
Uh-oh.
7.
There seems to be a pack of 7 wolves, hungry, cold, and borderline rabid, have been sort of following you from the start, and they are now tracking towards you, and they are just about to sort of burst into an attack.
So
but
since we got here, they've been tracking us.
well, this is just what's popping into your mind right now as you run all the scenarios through, as you look round and notice that a pack of 7 wolves is about to finish its stalking of you.
Clever girls.
And yeah, that's what you see right now. So what do you say to the others before we make any rolls?
Deja vu!
Deja vu times 2, I think. How many were last time? There was only like 2 wolves last time. It's like deja vu times 3.25.
Yeah. Now we're going to do actual initiative, in which I have to be sure to write them down so we know the order here.
All right.
So I'm going to roll for the wolves. The wolves have +2 to initiative. They get a natural 20 plus 2 is 22.
Quick wolves.
Onas, what's your initiative bonus?
+2, I believe. Yes.
Okay, make the roll.
I roll 14 plus 2, that's 16.
Onas on 16. Seyda?
I have a +7.
Yep.
I roll a 7 plus 7, 14.
Bjorn? Or whoever's holding the dice is fine too.
+4. That's a 1 plus a 4.
And what a coincidence, because you're also nearest to them, apparently. Hjani.
All right, +5, 17 plus 5. So that is 22.
Which is equal, which means as a player, you win.
Yay!
So Hjani's first, then the wolves, then Onas, then Seyda, and then Bjorn.
Who's closest to the wolves?
So Bjorn turns around, he sees a pack of wolves stalking towards you, and they the alpha wolf breaks into a run, the others follow, and they come descending upon their prey, you, and Hjani has the first action. What will you do?
I rapid shot the 2 wolves that are coming at Bjorn, and because of my precise shot, it doesn't matter if
Yeah,
he's in
you
the
can't hit Bjorn, that's right.
Way. Yep.
So the wolves' AC is 14, and your overall, for rapid shot, you must take 2 off your overall abilities.
So my overall abilities is +9, so it would be a +7.
Okay, the first arrow
12 plus 7, 19.
is a hit. So let's roll the damage.
All right, the damage is 1d8 plus 1. 8 plus 1, 9.
9. Okay, a yelp sounds out as you stick the wolf, slowing it down but not killing it with a good shot. And the next shot.
The next shot is an 18 plus 7. So
Okay.
also hit.
You shoot a second one.
And then a 1d8 plus 1 is a 3 plus 1, 4.
You hit 2 of them. They're still coming, but one is kind of limping and in trouble. The next action is the wolves, who basically split up and just try to overwhelm you all. So at first, we're just going to have one wolf attacking each of you, and the others are sort of just circling around and not making decisions yet. So Bjorn, what's your AC?
My AC is 18.
Yeah, and they have a bite plus 3. I roll a 13 plus 3 is 16. One runs up and tries to bite you. You are too agile. You just sort of manage to get your hands on it and let it scoot past you.
I say, come at me, dog.
Seyda, what's your AC?
Also 18.
They roll 16 plus 2 is 18. A wolf jumps on you and bites you for 1d6 plus 1 points of damage. But your hit point is
47.
47 now. Holy sh! 5 plus 1 is 6. You're
6.
bitten for 6 points of damage.
Nice
Onas,
affinity with animals you've got there.
Onas, what's your AC?
My AC is 12.
Bite plus 3. They roll 3 plus 3. You are so smart and nimble. You just know where that wolf's already going to come, and you just position yourself so it has to check its run. And it can't bite you.
Hey, boy.
Hjani,
17 is my AC.
it gets 15 plus 2 is 17. It bites you for 3 points of damage,
All right.
as you are now swarmed around by wolves. And next in the order is Onas.
Okay, I am. I'm. How close am I to this wolf that's attacking me? It's right next to me, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna cast my flaming sphere, and it's going to be in the direction of the wolf that's going for me. Then I'm going to angle the flaming sphere towards wherever the biggest concentration of wolves is to try and scatter them and panic them.
And it's one
Oh,
round per level.
shit.
So you've got 4 rounds of this. Though.
4 rounds. So,
So the
four
first
rounds of
thing-
flaming sphere.
So these wolves are all barking and howling, by the way. So the first thing you do is direct the sphere towards the first wolf attacking you.
Yeah.
Good. Now it's got plus 5. It needs to beat 16 to save. Can it get out of the way of this flaming sphere?
Flaming sphere.
It rolls a natural 1.
It's doggone.
It looks at the flaming sphere, not understanding what it is, and then roll 2d6. Yeah, it chases your flaming sphere and tries to catch it in its mouth.
I roll 8. 5
And
2, 8.
yeah, it then yelps as it gets burnt within an inch of its life. Awesome. And your flaming sphere is still alive to be manipulated
Great.
next round.
Okay.
So now we come to Seyda.
I'm going to hit the wolf that bit me with my greatsword.
Okay, AC 14.
I have a plus 7 to greatsword. That's 5 plus 7 is 12.
You swing at this wolf, but it
It
was
bit my arm.
it was holding onto your. It's still holding your arm. It's still locked onto your arm, and you can't get your sword to move. Bjorn.
I've got my short bow out,
Okay.
and I'm ready to shoot it at it.
Now, do you have defeat point blank shot? No, you don't.
I do not.
So you will have a -2 on this roll.
Here we go.
What is it then?
It's plus 5. I just rolled a 13 plus 5.
It's 18.
18.
So
minus 2.
Yeah, despite the close being in the pocket with this thing, you just hold your nerve and shoot it with an arrow. And this is the one in front of you that Hjani nominated that she shot already. So what's the damage?
That's a 1d6. A 1.
Okay, yeah, you scratch it with the arrow.
These are tough wolves.
They are. And that brings us back to the top of the order. Hjani.
All right, I take out my longsword of frost.
Shing.
And, shing. And I'm close to Bjorn-esque, right?
You're close to wolves.
I'm close to wolves. Okay, so
If you tried to move without attacking one next to you, they'd have a free opportunity
right.
to bite you.
right. Okay, so I'll just attack the one that's closest to me,
Okay.
or the one that was attacking-esque at me.
Yep.
Right. All right. So
AC 14.
all right. So I roll a natural 1.
Here's what happens. In the middle of the action, wolves are swamping you. You're all fighting. Seyda's got one hanging off her arm. Bjorn deftly sort of lets one run by him. Onas casts a flaming sphere. You go, to me, you grab your sword and you pull it right out of the scabbard to hold it up aloft, and it just keeps moving. It slips from your fingers.
Whoops.
Does a couple of cartwheels and is sticking in the snow about 10 feet away from you. Like slapstick, it actually goes doing and makes that kind of gradually slowing down flapping thing. Which brings
the
us
DM
to...
motions his hand in a wobble side to side.
That's right.
A side to side wobble.
Oopsies.
Hey, bro, I thought the doing covered it quite well. That brings us back to wolves. Hjani, what's your AC?
My AC is 17.
They roll a 10. You're unarmed, but your hand-to-hand skills fend off the bites.
Hiya.
Bjorn,
Oh,
This is
my
wolves'
AC is
turn.
18.
3 plus 3 is 6. They fail to bite you. You're just nimbler than the wolves. Seyda,
He's
18?
dancing with them.
I roll a 10 plus 3 is 13. They also fail to hit Seyda as you manage to shake off the one that's biting you. Onas.
So I can cast as well as direct my sphere.
Oh no, it's their turn. What's your AC?
Oh, sorry. Okay, my AC is 12.
But I'm going to give them, since you've got a flaming sphere sort of going around you into the control, I'm going to negate all their bonuses
Okay.
because they might be too afraid to come near you.
Yeah.
So they have to naturally roll over your 12. Unfortunately, I rolled an 18, and a super brave wolf comes up behind you and bites you on your bottom for 4 points of damage.
Oh, that's one buttock.
Hilarious.
4 points per buttock.
Yeah, that's what Bjorn does. As he looks around, he sees it happen and just goes, hilarious.
Ridiculous.
As he's fending off the...
It's like a ridiculous Benny Hill slapstick fight we're having here.
at the moment. So
Classic.
see if you can wrap it up a bit. So what's next is third in the order, right? Which is Onas. You're
Okay, so yeah, my original question was I can direct the Celestial Spear and also
I
cast
allow
another
it.
spell?
Because there's more wolves than there are of you, and they're sort of a pack. You send your flaming sphere rolling into the middle of two of them, allowing you to attempt to hit two at once.
Okay.
So the first one has to save against 16 with a +5. I rolled a 9, so that's 14, fails. And the other one rolls a natural 15. One of them manages to sort of like bound out of the way.
Okay.
But your flaming sphere careens into another one for how much points of damage?
2d6.
2d6, yeah.
It's wolf bowling. 7 points of damage.
Oh, so the one that previously bit you has now been burned to death. Scratch
great.
one wolf.
And do I can I cast, or was directing that
You're
thing
still
into
holding it.
my-
You got 2 more rounds with this ball.
Oh, so my question in general is if I've got that ball on the go, I can't.
You have to
cast
concentrate
it
only
against-
on the
Okay,
ball,
great.
which explains why the other wolf was able to bite you from behind.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
But it didn't break your concentration, and I can't turn back time. So you've just got the best concentration.
Not the best conversation.
That brings us to Seyda.
Well, now that I've shaken this wolf off, let's try and hit it again with a greatsword.
AC 14, greatsword plus.
+7. That is a 4.
Oh.
4
You-
plus 7 is not 14.
Your feet are like sinking and crunching in this thick snow, and you just can't get your footing to swing such a large weapon. So let's So let's go to the last one in the order, who is Bjorn.
I'll take a. I duck and roll,
And then
bound up,
Mhm.
and shoot
Shoot one.
whatever one is closest to me.
that sounds awesome. They have AC 14.
Okay. I am going to roll that.
What's your total bonus of?
+5.
Okay, go for it.
That's a 5. Plus a 5.
Okay, here's what happens. You deftly let the first wolf go by just sort of guiding it past you Tai Chi style. You get your bow and arrow, you jump, you turn in the air, aiming to sort of roll through the snow and spring up to your feet to shoot it back the other way. But the snow is like really thick, so when you land into the roll, you just basically go thump and sink into it and stop, and your legs are sort of pointing up in the air.
Does he also go swang? Like a
No,
sword?
it's more like a sort of thump. But you know what? Yes.
Yes.
Why not?
He also goes swang.
The bowstring goes ding, makes the noise. But yeah, you try to make the roll, but you just basically halt in the soft snow. Essentially, I'm sorry about that.
But I'm all
Which
right.
brings us back to Hjani.
All right.
There are 6 wolves, 2 injured,
Okay, so
and this is the third round. So technically, only 18 seconds have passed in real time.
yikes. Can I roll towards my sword and pick it up and then slash?
You can definitely try that too. This is turning out to be a combination of slapstick and heroic, providing you succeed.
All
Their
right.
AC is 14.
I roll towards my sword, which is a +8 attack bonus, assuming I can get at it. And it's a 15 + 8, so 23.
Okay, you dive out the way of an oncoming wolf, rolling, picking up your sword as you spring to your feet. You turn, you slash.
And it is a 1d8 plus 3 plus 1d6 cold damage. So 4 plus 3, 7 plus 6 cold damage. So that is 13 altogether.
Okay, so it rushes on. It tries to bite you. You dive sideways beyond it, roll, pick up your sword, turn around, and eviscerate it from the side.
/ wolf guts.
Good
That's
one.
right. Which brings us to the wolves. And there are still as many wolves as there are people. So, Hjani, what's your AC?
My AC is 17.
Gets a 6 plus 3 is 9. You are not bitten. Bjorn,
Oh, my AC is 18.
they get a 5 plus 3 is 8. You're just dodging wolves left and right like it ain't no thing.
I think they don't see me right now because I'm stuck in the snow.
Yeah, Seyda,
18.
they roll a 19 plus 3 is 24. You are bitten again, this time by a second wolf on the back of your leg
Love bites.
for 6 points of damage.
At least I can take it.
Onas, as you concentrate.
12.
And they don't get their bonus because of
Sure.
your flame. They roll a natural 20,
Oh.
which are they going to roll again?
Number 2 is about to go.
And a 19.
Wow.
You are mauled by a wolf for a critical hit, breaking your concentration.
Right.
You lose your flaming sphere. And how many hit points do you have in total? By the way?
I have 25 normally, but I'm down to 21 at the moment.
Okay, so you're not going to be totally killed. It's 2d6. It's
Slightly killed.
It's 1d6 plus 1 times 2 gets a critical hit.
Shit.
I rolled a 3, 4, so you are mauled for 8 points of damage. Your concentration is broken, and your flaming sphere is no more.
8 points, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm now down to 13 hit points.
Yeah, and which brings us round to who's in for Seyda.
Oh, I'm up.
Oh no, that was the
yeah.
wolves, wasn't it? So
First.
next is in fact Onas, revenge time.
Okay, so I'm in contact with a wolf that is mauling me, I guess. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do to that puppy dog? It's shocking grasp time.
Yeah, well, since it's on you mauling you, you can just grab it.
I
and
just
touch
grab it by its little
Yeah.
scruff of its neck. You know, when you pick up a puppy, I grab it there, look it in the eye.
because you
and
want to
then-
remind us all of a cute puppy before you do what you're going to do.
Yep.
Okay, roll 4d6 damage after leveling up of electrocution.
There we
Wait, you
go.
never electrocuted a puppy before?
I guess I'm just had a sheltered upbringing.
You've heard of elocution lessons. Well, it's time for this puppy to get an electrocution lesson. That's a 6 and a 5 and a 1 and a 2, so that's a lot.
14.
14, yeah?
As it's mauling you, you grab it by the scruff of its neck and its side, you concentrate, and so much electrical force goes through its body, it literally explodes into tiny pieces, spraying you. The snow all around is covered in sort of like brown and yellow and red
So
rain,
nice.
essentially. You guys feel a light rain on the backs of your necks,
Ew.
and it's hot, unlike the
The
snow.
fact that brown and yellow are the colors that came up first had more piss and shit in it than blood.
And it wasn't a puppy, by the way, listeners. It was a wolf, a particularly naughty wolf who
But
was
let's
trying
not
to eat him
forget
first.
It once was a puppy.
Yeah.
An ugly puppy.
Yeah.
That's worse.
Full of piss
Side-
and shit.
Side note, DM is an actual extreme animal lover and is genuinely upset right
Well,
now.
there's no fur left. So don't
Hey,
worry
you
about
put the puppies there.
Hey man, they're wolves in the forest, that's all I'm saying. You're right, I should have thought of some other
Yeah,
monster
you
I care less
shouldn't.
about. Yeah.
If you're a pacifist, you're in the wrong game, bro.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, do you even D&D, bro? Okay, so that brings us to Seyda now. And there are 4 wolves left, only 2 of which are not injured.
Okay, let's try and
AC
hit it again.
14.
With a great sword. Come on, don't let me down. It's a 7 plus 7 is 14.
So that's a hit.
Yes. That is.
Back, baby.
I'm back. 2d6 plus 2.
Yep.
May I have another d6?
You may. Here we go. Got a stockpile here.
6 and 4 is 10 plus 2 is 12.
Is 12. Okay, that would technically leave it with 1 hit point, but essentially you use your greatsword to hit it so hard, cutting all up its side, and blood is pouring out, and it's not fully dead, but it's sort of
not happy.
lying in the snow in a pool of its own blood, whimpering, thinking
Good.
about puppy heaven.
Staring with his wide eyes. Why? Why?
I was just hungry.
That's right.
I grew up on the plains. I will put this dog down.
Which means there are 3 wolves left, and
Down
it
we
is Bjorn's turn in the rotation. Oh, wait, let me... well, do this first, and I'll determine who will then have a wolf next to them or not.
All right,
Go.
I'm taking another shot. Whatever one's closest to me. Got a +5 attack bonus on my short bow. Roll a 5, that's 10, and I flub it.
Yeah, well, you don't flub it. You just sort of look around and can't get a clean shot, basically.
thanks.
Let's say that's it's a nicer way to do it, I think.
Can't
so,
kill
Hjani,
a puppy this time.
All right. So I charge at the remaining non-injured wolf
got it.
with my long sword +1 frost. It is a +8 attack bonus, and I roll a 15, so that's a 23.
Okay, you sort of charge through the snow, sending up white dust everywhere. And,
Kind of pinkish dust. Now,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, the speckled white snow as you hit at this next wolf with your sword.
All right, it is a 1d8 +3 +1d6 cold damage. So 1d8 is a 3, +3 is 6, plus the 3 cold damage is 9.
Yeah, you deal it a blow, but it's still alive. Bringing us to the wolves. And so I'm going to roll a d4 with going around the circle from Onas and see who is not next to a wolf now. I rolled a 2. Seyda is not next to a wolf. So we'll start with Onas is a 12 AC. And they, without their bonus, they got a 10. So all the 5